When you're strong, appear weak. When you're weak, appear strong. That's kind of what Sanju said, right? So in this video, I'm gonna explain to you guys what truly wealth is like, and I'm gonna try to explain to you what is the difference between materialism and wealth. Now, of course, I tried recording this video very hard. I tried recording this video to the script really hard, but I couldn't. So now I'm gonna just, freestyle it. And I think I'm much more natural in front of the camera. I deliver the line, better, and it's just less pain in my ass. I know, retention rate is gonna go down, but what can I do? Okay, so let's start. When you're strong, appear weak, and when you're weak, appear strong. And somehow we live in a culture that has inverted the system, where poor people are kind of loud and rich people are kind of quiet. And without a doubt, we built a society of poor people who are building cages with gold bars. And I'm going to come back to that, like why exactly that is the case. Most of us chase the signal instead of chasing the thing itself, and I think that is what's the difference between materialism and true wealth. Now, I wanna make sure that you understand this, and I personally think a lot of human paradoxes can be explained by evolutionary biology. So, when we were primates, we wanted to show off our wealth, right? We wanted to show off that we have more resources so we can get better mates, so we can attract more attention. And because I have more attention on me, me getting grabbed by a predator, the chances are quite low from just a random guy who no one pays attention to. So if I have more resources, I have a lot of attention. I am enjoying better chances of survival. And but the thing is that this evolutionary mind, like this mind, like primitive mind, hasn't adopted to the modern ways of how economy work, right? In the primate times, it was very difficult to fake the wealth. What are you going to do? How exactly are you going to fake 100 bananas? Tell me that. But in real life, you can actually fake a $10,000 watch. Well, first you can buy it off of EMI or get a loan, and that is kind of what makes us to not understand what real success looks like, right? And people who are truly rich, they I don't think they show off their wealth, because there is just nothing to show for. What exactly are you going to show? Are you going to go around with a billboard on your hand where you have written the holdings you hold in public companies, or are you gonna what exactly are you gonna do that would make people think that you're truly rich if you are truly rich? Because a truly rich person has a lot of diversified income. They have multiple real estates, they have invested in a lot of stocks very early, and now they're paying off. How exactly are you going to show that off, right? But you can show off if you're moderate high income and you don't know anything about how the world works and how money sometimes you can lose the sources of money, and you buy a bunch of things which depreciate in value. So this is the thing, right? Rich people buy expensive shit from loan that appreciates in life, and poor people buy things that depreciate in life. So for example, headphones, these headphones will depreciate over life. The stocks which I have bought, they will appreciate in my life. So that's kind of the thing, right? And you just have to, and there is a lot of in like incredibly detailed accounting involved. So you have to make sure that your interest rate on your loan is actually lower than your returns, blah blah blah. So rich people take loan and they buy assets that appreciate in life, and poor people do the exact opposite. And that's why it's very difficult to truly understand what success looks like. And that's just the gist of it, to be honest. And let's kind of understand why this is not just with like moderate high people. This is also with like um this is also involved like I'm reading my script. Yes, so it is also involved in like low paying jobs. People with low paying jobs, they want to show off that they're stable in their life. They want to buy an expense, like they want to buy a home expensive from their standard, but they still want to buy it. They want to buy a home, they want to buy a car, they want to, go on vacations sometimes. And that becomes a real headache, because when they end up buying home, they when they buy a home, they don't just buy, their home sweet home. They also buy a bunch of EMIs, and eventually they lead themselves into a debt crisis. Now their dream is to not own a home or get a small car. Now their dream is to pay off the damn EMI. And because because they're paying so much EMI, they won't invest in assets that would appreciate life, because they don't have enough income to make it so they don't have enough income to make it so that they also pay the EMI and invest. So they're gonna give all of everything to EMI, and they're never gonna truly invest, and that would make them poor forever. Now, I personally think the idea of wealth is somewhat very interesting, and I think we can take a page from power, right? Because wealth follows power and power follows wealth. So it is kind of very similar, and if not, they might just be two faces of the same coin. So the definition of power, it's very popular in pop culture. A definition of power is that ability to influence another's behavior or courses of events. Again, okay, so I'm gonna say that again. The ability to direct or influence others' behavior or courses of events. Now, this is of course, very interesting definition, and it seems quite right. So let's apply the same standards to money, to wealth, and I'm gonna come into what is the difference between money and wealth. Now, if we apply the same standard to wealth, then wealth is one's reason, like wealth, okay, which is to use one, yeah, okay. So what is wealth? When one uses its resources to influence others' behavior or courses of event. Now, let me give you a simple example. Now, let's discuss about Elon Musk. He was a key figure in Donald Trump's campaign, and one could argue that Trump would have lost his election without Elon. Now, this happened not because he had incredible connections in Washington, he had incredible influence over people. It had because he used his resources in a way which influenced people's behavior and influenced events. And this definition of wealth also stands for evaluating, influencer companies. For example, Beast Industries. Now, Beast Industries valued over 100, sorry, Beast Industries are valued over $1 billion. But without Mr. Beast, like without Jimmy, the valuation of Beast industry would reduce significantly, because his wealth is not the money he has created, it's the attention he has created, it's the influence. Now his true wealth is how much attention he can grab in 30 seconds. That's his wealth. And my wealth, if I become the richest man in the world, my wealth would be something different. Now, coming back to Elon, now imagine a scenario where Elon did not join Trump's campaign and Trump lost. He would not be able to take, who would participate, he would not be able to take part in key, historical things like India-Pakistan conflict, not war, conflict. And his Middle East peace plan, his NATO defense budgeting, and all key historical events like this gigantic tariff thing, right? Now, now, I want to tell you what is the real difference between money and wealth. While money is a form of wealth, wealth is far more efficient and far more flexible than just money. So assume you're stranded on an island and you have $100 billion. Can you use your $100 billion? Because you have no one, right? You're not wealthy, you just have money, you don't have wealth. But assume that you are on an island and you're very wealthy. Now that doesn't mean that you have a lot of money, that would mean that you have a lot of resources. So maybe you have a lot of people working for you in that scenario, maybe you have a ship in that scenario. So for example, if we have two persons stranded on an island, one person has $100 billion and another person has two ships. In this scenario, the person with two ships, he has resources. He doesn't have money, he has the resources. So he is more wealthier in the situation. Now, why shouldn't I, Amarnath Pandey, if I earn $100,000 tomorrow, should not go buy a $10,000 watch and a $50,000 car? Why? Because if I want to keep earning $100,000, I should invest it. I should, the first thing I should invest in it myself. Now, maybe there is an argument like buying $100,000 watch or buying $100,000 car is investing in me. No, that's not investing in you. When you invest in yourself, you appreciate your value. When you buy watches, when you buy car, you don't appreciate your value. You just content your heart. Appreciation value is where you go off and you learn more skills. You go off and you understand something that you didn't understand. You become more capable. If buying things created competence, then like the monarchy would still be alive. That's just my thing, man. If buying things created competence, monarchy would still be alive. But they are not, because that's not how you create competence. You create competence by working really hard, by investing in yourself, by investing in your knowledge, in your skills, getting mentorships from other people, and making connections. Now, so next time you see a person driving a Lamborghini or a flashy car with a lot of noise, just think, is the person truly wealthy? The fact is that you cannot know that because you have not looked at his balance sheet. Maybe he's in incredible debt. Mike Tyson had a lot of things once and he went bankrupt. Now, that's the main thing to understand. Like, seeing things doesn't mean the person is successful. That just means that he is spending a lot of money. And if you want to be engaged in a lot of intellectual topics, please subscribe to this channel. And I am, of course, going to create more videos now. So hit that bell icon.